Welcome guys, welcome to today's show, and today I'm gonna talk about the new camera I've been testing for the last week, which is the Sony A7R3, I got it as a loaner from, well, kind of through B&H and through Sony directly. They sent it to me, so I gotta give a shout out and thanks to them, and I'll tell you guys what I think about the camera. Is it really worth it or not? But also, we're going to get to some cool submissions today. We got a lot of really good submissions, so hopefully we'll get through all of them. But anyways, first let's start talking about the camera. So here I have the camera actually in my favorite new man bag, which is from Aputure actually, for the Amaran lights. I took this thing because literally I was like running out the door and. I got basically, the camera, like I said, from Sony, so it just came with whatever it came with, originally in the box. Did not come with any other accessories or any extra batteries or things like that. So I got this thing, and because I just found it basically in my house, like it was closest to the door. So I grabbed this, threw the light out of there, and it's actually a really good bag. So again, I think I've said it once before, but I think Aputure, you guys should get into making some camera bags because. This thing's like, yesterday, for example, it was snowing up here in New York City. Was like really wet, slushy, and cold, and everything at once. And this bag survived and protected the camera. Anyways, let me take out the camera and show you guys how it looks like, and kind of tell you what I've been, I guess, sort of my impressions of the camera for the last week, what they've been. Here I have the G Master lens. This is the 24 to 70 millimeter f2.8. Really cool lens. Although it's a little big and heavy. If it was up to me, I wish it was a little bit smaller. But I guess it's full frame. I don't know. I'm guessing that's the smallest they could have done it. But anyways, that's the lens that I have with it. And like I said, I only have one lens for it. So everything that I'm going to show you was shot with this lens. And I only have one battery, and that's maybe the first thing I'm going to talk about in this camera. And I'm sure if you guys have watched some of these other videos online from other people about this camera, you probably heard it already. It's very similar, if not identical, to the Sony A7R2, which I've done a review before, so you guys can watch that. And it was a great camera. I mean, it was an amazing stills camera, 40 megapixel photos and all that stuff. But video camera, I mean, it was maybe not on par maybe with the Sony A7R2 in terms of, but literally it was a very tiny difference. I would say it's really the biggest difference between A7R2 versus the A7S2. I mean, the difference was just the low light capability, meaning A7R2 was pretty damn good in low light. It's just A7S2 is, a little bit better, like just at the really high-end ISOs. Which is something that I've never even had to ever, from actual paying projects, never even had to rely on. But anyways, this camera is, I would say, pretty much identical to the A7R2, which if you can get right now, used, let's say on a big discount, even though the original actually retail price of this camera is, I think it's like $200 less than what the A7R2 was when it first came out. But if you can get the A7R2 for even cheaper than this is $30 to $100 right now, then I would just say just go for the A7R2, honestly, if you're just looking for a video camera. Because I mean, is it worth it? I'm not going to say that it's not worth it, but it's not worth it in terms of, like I said, if you can get the A7R2 used for a lot cheaper. I would just say just go for that. Because there are advantages in here. I mean, there are advantages, but they're very minor. In terms of photo and video quality, literally there's no difference. I mean, there is tiny difference when it comes to photos, the raw photos. When I was looking at them, because the sensor is the same. Sony said that they're kind of, because of the new processing power that this camera has, that they're able to extract a better image. So in the raw photos, yes, you're going to see a bit of extra, like, I guess clarity, but also just the dynamic range is supposed to be slightly bigger, although again, I haven't really seen a big difference. But when it comes to video, they're identical. Video from this and the Sony A7R2 is identical. So that's why I would say in terms of video, there really is no difference. They still have not gotten rid of this annoying little screen here in the back. I wish they had. But overall, what hasn't changed? Well, just changed the ergonomically, like the button layout and stuff like that. They have a nice big kind of a dedicated record button that's very easy to hit. You're not gonna hit it by mistake, I would say, or not basically manage to actually hit it. They have a nice here dual card slot, so you can put two SD cards. And I guess the biggest improvement is just the new battery, which is the which I don't even have here. I believe I think I'm charging it upstairs, so I forgot, so I came and turned on the camera. But anyways, it's the bigger battery, and it lasts a lot longer. It's like from my experience shooting video, almost 3 times as much as like the original, Sony batteries that we've been using with all the other A7 basically series cameras. So that is the improvement. But other than that, really there is not much. For shooters, yes, there is better thing. Autofocus, I don't know. I heard people saying the autofocus is better. Again, I mean, the autofocus was good in the A7R2, so I'm not gonna, and again, I'm not one to be really constantly relying on autofocus. So because of that, for me, there wasn't a much difference. So yeah, so that's just something I guess to consider. But overall, still a great camera. So if you're in the market looking for for a new camera, and and you want a brand new camera, not a used one, then I guess this is a good deal. Unless you can wait out and hold out for the Sony A7S Mark III. We'll see if that comes out soon. And what that's actually gonna have, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let me see if you have any here questions, comments, or things like that from you guys. Somebody's saying, I like using the 28mm f2. Is this from Stallone Media? Maybe you can tell me if you're referring to is it a Sony lens, like the Zeiss? Angela Rook is asking if the body fits into the same cage. To be honest, I haven't tried it with my Sony A7S cages, so I don't know, but I would think so. I mean, it looks, like I said, it looks almost identical. So I'm gonna go out there and say yes, it is, but maybe wait for like a day. Basically, the next day I'm going to be back in my studio, and then I can actually put it in my cage and I can leave a comment. So once this video is posted on YouTube, I'll leave a comment and let you know. What else is there? Hello, Trevor. Oh yeah, I see some people here joining us. Is it from London? Let me know actually where you guys are joining us from, which part of the world. And what are you doing if it's in the middle of the night or whatever? Is it like, are you sneaking up out of your bed? Are you in the middle of work or whatever? Is it worth it just for the battery life and dual card slots? Well, that's the whole thing, is that it's a nice addition. I'm not gonna say it's not, because you have to worry less about changing those batteries and things like that, unless you get a dummy battery. Actually, another thing I should have mentioned is when it comes to the connections, they have now this one? So they have micro USB and they have a USB-C type connection. And this is really cool because you can use one, for example, for like data transfers, or let's say if you're doing in a studio, like let's say you want to, what do you call it, live feed, whatever, you want to copy the files. Another one you can actually use it. I've been using the USB-C with my little portable battery, plugged that sucker in there when the battery ran out, because like I said, I've only have one battery, so I only got basically what comes with the box originally from Sony. So that's the only thing. So I didn't actually bother going out buying the battery, because I do have to return this camera. It's a loaner. So I've been using my little portable battery, which, where is it? Yep, I have it here actually. I can show you. This little thing, it's pretty cool actually, in terms of like, it's just small portable. It's like literally like having a phone. And it has the cable hidden in it. And this is kind of what I use for my phones and things like that. So it has a regular USB, has a USB-C here cable, and then you can also plug in other USB devices here. So it's pretty cool, light, but it's pretty doable. What is it? How many milliamps is it? 5,000 milliamps. Yeah, it's a pretty cool battery, and this thing's so light and small that you can like Velcro it to the side of your camera or something. So you can literally power this camera, I think, with 5,000 milliamps. I think it's like 4 hours or something, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think even 5 hours, I would estimate. this thing would last you. So it's pretty cool. So it's good that you can do that. What else I have in my camera bag? Oh yeah, I brought this little thing, my new favorite microphone, which is the on-camera mic, which is the Asden SMX30, and it's cool because, well, if you guys watch the review, it has some auto functions and things like that. Plus, it's a stereo and mono mic. But anyways, yeah. So that's kind of what I think about the camera. I mean, I don't want to like sit here and talk about a whole bunch of other things that like I said, there's no need for me to really talk about. I can show you some examples. Like I literally just so far I've been doing some tests in the studio, but I've been kind of mostly just trying to use this as a kind of like a run and gun camera, running around with this, basically shooting home videos. I've been like, it's Christmas time and we've been kind of running around, with my family, Christmas tree lighting or like decorations or whatever, just doing Christmas shopping. So it's good because it is still, a mirrorless camera. It's a bit lighter and smaller than some of the other cameras. Like, for example, I'm testing also, Sony sent me out the Nikon D850, which is a DSLR camera, and it shoots 4K video, and that has nice 4K video, but man, that camera's a freaking beast in terms of the weight. Like, you feel it. It's bigger, but also just heavier, and the lenses for it are things. So it's not a camera I want to take around with me. This camera, with this lens, it's already pretty heavy, although I was able to actually fly this on the MOZA Air. That's the only pistol grip style gimbal so far that I've been able to balance this on and actually work with. So yesterday, actually, the whole day I've been running around with this camera on the MOZA Air, and it still works with this lens. Although ideally, I would want to put under like probably like a small little pancake lens, because then it becomes really portable. This lens is what's, again, I'm not just, it's amazing quality. I'm just saying for like run and gunning, it's kind of too big and heavy for me. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. But the camera itself is fairly light, fairly small. So that's why I've been using it kind of for just doing home videos. And maybe I'll show you guys right now a video that I did. Well, I didn't do it. My wife did it. So if you guys want to see like the whole video, you can see it on her YouTube channel. But it's basically, I put a link down below in the description, so you guys can just click that later after the show and watch the original video, full video. But anyways, here's this kind of video that she did, and I basically just shot this for her, like, because normally she shoots it on her little Canon G7X, I think it is. But I basically said, hey, how about I shoot this video for you on this new camera I got? And she's like, sure. So that's why I'm not in it, but she's in it with my kids. So here's the video. Enjoy it.
Can you keep a secret? A story of the stars. We'll dream until the morning comes around. Cinnamon and sweater vests and castles in the sky.
And by the way, maybe I'll just tell you that the whole video was shot in just a standard video mode. It's like I didn't want to do anything with S-Log or anything. I just wanted something that my wife can throw on the computer and edit right away, right? So that's why I'll be doing other videos where I'm kind of testing out other color profiles and stuff. But this one doesn't have the nicest maybe colors. It's just like standard video. But anyways, that's what I got. Kind of again running around.
Winter turns to spring, but I won't forget the little things. I won't forget our wonderland. No, I won't forget our wonderland.
Hola chicos, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a little vlog here in our hometown because today was the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Now there was a lot of people, but they were giving hot chocolate, free horse carriages, ride, and action. So they were giving free hot chocolate, horse ride carriages.
So as you guys saw, that last shot there of my wife that I showed you. But anyways, for the whole video, you guys can go check it out. That was actually also shot on that lens, so you can see you can definitely get nice like bokeh, and it's full frame and all that stuff. So it's a great camera for video. It's just like I was saying, I don't know if it's worth it giving the price, because there are some other nice options. And actually, I have a little. If you're only watching on YouTube, there's a little poll there on the top right corner. So you guys can maybe use it. This one, I don't forget which corner it is now. Everything's reversed. But anyways, you click there, use a little poll that you can vote what's your best mirrorless camera that you think it is. And for those of you watching on Facebook, just leave it in the comments. So yeah, let me know which camera you think is the best right now, like in terms of everything, I would say, like the quality, the usability, the overall value basically that you're getting. So just let me know, you know, click there, just literally click it and just choose the camera that you want. That takes seconds. But yeah, like I said, it's a nice camera. I just don't know, given today, like I think kind of Sony, if Sony had came out with this camera maybe like 2 years ago, then it would have been like, holy crap, Amoli, you know, that's like revolutionary. But now it's sort of like, you know, they're making these tiny little increments, so it doesn't seem that exciting, I guess. That's the reason why. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, let me know. Did anybody actually, any one of you guys actually end up buying the camera? If so, let me know. Let's see, anybody here? Battery life is amazing. It's perfect and R2. Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say. It's perfect. It's not perfect. It's better, like I said, than R2. But yeah, the lens is beautiful. But again, given how much it costs and how heavy it is and all that stuff, I don't know. Somebody's writing here, Carl Galaxy Studios. My wife doesn't want to be in my videos anymore. You're lucky, Tom. Well, she's not really in my videos either, Carl. She's actually just more in my, yeah, like I said, she wants me to help her with her videos because she has her own YouTube channel. So that's the reason why. Although I do sometimes like drag her into basically becoming my test subject model, whatever, just sitting in there whenever, you know, I'm sure you guys have recognized her face because I've used her in whenever I could in my videos. It's like, yeah, somebody here saying that like A7R3 is not really is it really that good? And it's somebody else replied here the 10-bit. Well, it's meant for 10-bit, and yeah, that's the whole thing. I would never shoot on these cameras on any pretty much camera like those DSLM cameras unless it's the something like the Panasonic GH5 because it shoots in 10-bit. Although that one doesn't have S-Log, but it has V-Log. But shooting S-Log, first of all, you got to be very careful on the Sony cameras because you're shooting in 8-bit, 420 color space. So you're, you make a mistake and that's it. You're gonna really degrade the image later on than anything. So I would say you kind of want to stick to regular video, maybe the Cine 2 or Cine 4 mode. I've been kind of shooting in Cine 2 lately a lot on this one. And I kind of seem to like it, even for the night shots, like low dynamic range shots, kind of where there's a lot of the shadows. Because S-Log 2, S-Log 3, they produced way too much noise. So just letting you know. If frame rates are the same, identical like all the other cameras, so 30 frames per second max in 4K, and then you have 120 in 1080p, and it's nice. The 120 looks nice. Like that video you shot with my wife was all shot 120, even the part where she's talking, because I forgot to turn off the camera settings, so it was 120 frames. So I just played it back at 120. What is this here? Look at any comments. Anyways, yeah, let me know anything else. See somebody here from India, Florida, Netherlands. Too many comments here. Florida again, Colombia, hello, Spain, Nigeria, wow, Jamaica, Kuwait, oh wow, all the way from Kuwait, Aruba, Atlanta, Crockham Hill in UK, Germany. Man, we got a lot of people from Washington, D.C. Okay, so keep on leaving those comments. It's always great to see. We have a nice turnout here today too, so enjoying the show. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna kind of just show you guys the submission. So the first submission that I got, it's a short one. It's from ALESSIO NITTI, and he was as usually is the case, he was a director, editor, colorist, sound producer, and even the actor. And then it says other, so I'm not sure what that means. But the cool thing about his little submission is that he shot it on the iPhone 6 with just a native camera software, which is pretty spectacular. And I almost wish that Alessio, that you had submitted your video for the mobile video device, the challenge that we had, because you could have won the free gimbal. But anyways, he just used that. He used one LED light. He says Premiere Pro and After Effects, and I think where your work shines mainly is like the post-production. So anyways, here, let me jump it in and let you guys watch Alessio's submission.
How have you been, Mr. Tyler? Any better?
No.
Not really, no.
Are you still hearing the voice in your head, I guess?
Yes, but I think I got it under control a little.
Oh yeah, you don't! I got you!
Are you okay? You seemed a little off.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay. Do you think you could give me something today?
Mr. Tyler, this is very serious and it will take some time.
But I'm in lots of pain.
He's lying! Kill that motherfucker!
I understand, but I think we're done for today, Mr. Tyler.
What?
Go home, get some rest, and I'll see you next week, okay?
Next week?
But I need something now.
Please, leave the studio now, Mr. Tyler.
You don't understand! I can't control it anymore!
Mr. Tyler? Mr. Tyler!
No! Get me out of here!
So you saw some freaky ass shit over there, but it's amazing what he's able to pull off on that thing. So I would say, like, my critique is, you know, given it's shot on a freaking iPhone and just one light too, you did an amazing job, like setting up the shots and just even, you know, the little kind of story, like how quick it is. You get to a point and it creates some really, like, almost chills down my spine. And I think a big part of it is the sound. The sound was really well done, but also the little editing tricks, the zoom in, all that stuff. All of it worked really beautifully. I would just say, like, now, if you want to take it the next step, just try to get your hands on a better camera, because, you know, and maybe more lights, because you're gonna then see when you can light it even nicer and just get an overall nicer image quality. But I mean, already, if you did, like, using the tools that you had, if you were able to pull off the same kind of quality, but for a longer maybe amount of time, I think you would have a film there that you can sell or definitely, you know, win some awards at a festival. So congrats, and thank you for submitting, Alessio. Next submission here that we have is from Jesse Frank, and he is, let's see here, what's his role? The same thing. He's also been, yeah, the director of photography, editor, colorist, sound, producer, and actor. And it's a short film attempt at putting everything he says he learned basically so far into his in film, basically in practice. And it was shot on the GH4. Yay, the GH4, still my favorite camera from, like, you know, the small kind of run and gun cameras. Yeah, let's see. Maybe here. Let's see. Where's the submission? I had it here prepared. Let's go to Jesse's submission. And just make sure this is the right one. Yep, it is. All right, guys, enjoy it.
that Louisiana lanyard is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I ate too much.
Me too. I'm gonna go change.
Seriously? You mean I have been sitting at that table for 2 whole hours and you've been loitering back here in the alley? We reserved those tables for 4 weeks, for crying out loud. Are they here? Should I go? You know what? I am deleting you from my friends list and from my life. One down, 2 to go.
So maybe I'm gonna kind of let you guys watch the full thing because it is it's a longer film, but as you can see, like, you know, done on the GH4. I mean, pretty amazing, you know, production value, kind of good use of here of time lapses and things like that. And I actually like the lighting, like the, you know, the fact that, because a lot of people will say, for example, GH4 is not a low light camera. Well, neither are any of the big production cinema cameras that are basically being used for feature films. They all are horrible when you compare them to Sony A7S, for example. They're all horrible in low light, but as you can see in this film, the director was not afraid to go into the darks, and as you see, just using the little bit of like these edge lights here and you know, just, you know, things like that, and keeping a lot of the frame dark. Because the biggest mistake a lot of people will do when shooting something like this, when there's a lot of just dark, is they'll try to actually make those dark areas here of the shot bright, or at least brighter, and then they'll adjust the gain up or put up the ISO like crazy, and then the whole image just turns to, you know, looking like crap with all this noise and everything. So it's pretty cool. I would say my biggest critique of this is, and it's not, you know, I'm not here to trash the work, because it's pretty spectacular what you know, the filmmakers have been able to pull off with this, or the one filmmaker, I should say, because it is, you know, it's just Jesse pretty much seems like he did the whole thing, including the acting. So it's pretty spectacular, Jesse. I would just say the sound, if you could have gotten somebody maybe to help you with the sound, or just, you know, practice more, because the sound can make a huge difference. And I think your film already looks so spectacular that if you had, you know, just had like top-notch sound to match it. And what I mean by top-notch sound is like some of it just not using the production sound, just re-record it, or use, you know, like all new basically production design sound effects, like when it comes to footsteps and things like that, because that really creates also the atmosphere. And another thing is maybe that the color grading, it's decent. I mean, you know, like when I look at these shots, it's decent, but some of the night shots I felt like it just felt a little too, like, I think this film, because of like this really cool opening sequence that you have and all that stuff, I think it would have benefited from a bit more of a stylized light color grading. So I would maybe say color grading is the one thing maybe that you can, you know, if you can improve on this. And then the sound mix, so this is definitely something that you can improve on, you know, since you have the whole film done now. You can just improve on it now, and if you re-release it, I think you're going to see a lot of success because, like I said, you've done an amazing job. Otherwise, editing, filming, the story. I think it's really cool. Like all those things where you see the character always seems to appear and disappear. So I really like that. So, anyways, I'm going to encourage you guys to watch the full thing, and I'll post a link to this video once we're done with the show, so you guys can see it if you want to check it out. Check out the original video on Jesse's channel. All right, so now let's jump into the next submission. But before I do, let me maybe kind of answer some questions here that we have. So I see some people are asking my thoughts on the rumored GH5S. And my thoughts are, well, I mean, from what I heard is that low light is supposed to be better. And I would actually kind of say this, GH5 is a freaking amazing camera. Like when you look at what you're getting, the production value, I mean, just the value in the camera, getting 10-bit output, you know, nice 180 frames, slow motion, all that stuff. It's beautiful. I mean, it's got a lot of amazing tools, you know, exposure monitoring tools built in the camera. So it's pretty cool. If they can improve, I would say, for me at least, two things. Now, I know some of you are going to care about this another third thing, but for me, I would say if they could improve maybe the low light a little bit. Not that it's bad, because again, it's amazing, but it's just, you know, I would just say that it's low light is, you can always, you know, use a camera that can shoot in slightly higher ISO. So maybe that's one thing, the low light, if they could improve a little bit. It doesn't have to be, I'm not talking about in terms of, you know, Sony A7, but you know, or even this Sony A7R3, just a little bit maybe, so it's the noise doesn't appear as quickly in the thing, and also just make the image sensor bigger, because Micro Four Thirds, there's some great things about it, but for majority of shooting, like if you want something that looks more cinematic, and I'm not even talking about full frame, because full frame is not really what most feature films are shot on. I'm talking about Super 35 or very close to Sony, you know, basic or APS-C size sensor. So if they can get like a Super 35mm image sensor, like that kind of size, then automatically that's going to should help them with low light, because you're going to have, you know, bigger sensor. So I think that would be the biggest, I would say, for me, the thing. I mean, the biggest, I would say, the one thing like that I really care about is the image sensor. If they increase the image sensor, so I can use on it basically using adapters, obviously, but use, let's say, natively, I would say Canon EF mount. That would be probably the best, and then this way I can adapt, you know, other types of lenses to it. Then I would say, and if it was Super 35mm image size sensor, I would pretty much, hands down, you know, be using that camera right now for pretty much, I think, all of my work, or majority of it, because it's 10-bit. It's amazing, like the codec in it is amazing, all that stuff. So that's the biggest improvement. Now, like I said, I know for some of you guys, the low light, for me, it's not a big thing, but it would be nice. Now, another thing that some of you will care about that I completely don't care about is the autofocus. I know the autofocus is, and the GH5 is not that good. So if those are the three things that they tackle in the GH5S, if there is such a thing, and we'll see, then I would say, you know, that would be an amazing thing. Now, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, it doesn't look like that image sensor is going to be thing. It looks like they're sticking to the, like I said, to Micro Four Thirds, because it's kind of like the system. I guess they kind of don't want to abandon it because they have, you know, already glass for it, and a lot of people who own their previous cameras don't care about having it a bigger. So they would kind of be like, literally, you'd be like launching a brand new camera, which they kind of did, right, with that, you know, Panasonic EVA 1. Then that one has the EF mount and the thing. So I would kind of say, but I would say that's the biggest thing for me. You know, now the Panasonic EVA, if it was priced at the same as the GH5, well, then, you know, game over. But that's the whole thing, is it's not, right? It's a much more expensive camera. Another question here is from Ahmed Productions, is what do I think about the Hasselblad camera for video? I mean, it's a great photo camera. I wouldn't use it for video. First of all, it's crazy expensive. And why the hell do you care about having a medium format camera? Like I said, like I think people are going overboard with, even with this camera, a lot of the time, like yeah, I'm shooting some of this stuff here on the full frame, but a lot of the times I just shoot with the Super 35mm image sensor, because that's what the majority of cinema throughout history of cinema have been shot on, like that kind of size image sensor. So the kind of bokeh I can get on this, you know, the kind of look that I get aesthetically with Super 35 is perfect. I don't need full frame, and that's why you'll see all the cameras that I usually recommend are not really full frame cameras. Full frame is nice sometimes when you want to get that, you know, extra crazy wide angle, or if you want to just get a wider depth of field, a wider angle with a shallower depth of field, then then it's good for that. But you know, shooting with a medium camera, like the hassle, nah, it's way overkill. So I would say it's not worth it. Any other questions here? I said, oh, somebody's asking here about the masterclass in Spain, España. Whether I'll be doing, I don't have any plans right now, but I will be doing more like international workshops. It's just nothing right now in the works. Too bad you didn't come out for the last one. It was funny because out of the whole tour that I did across US, Canada, and Europe, I think Madrid was like the smallest audience. We had like one guy flying from, I don't know, Kuwait or somewhere, another guy from Morocco, and then we had another guy from France. Like literally we had like, we only had like, I think 7 people in Madrid. It was like the smallest class, whereas like everywhere else we had 30, 40 people. And it was, yeah, smallest class, but it was not even one person, I think, was actually from Spain. That was in Madrid that we held the workshop. So hopefully, like I said, next time I'm doing a workshop, Juan Esco, just, you know, stay in touch. Like watch my YouTube channel or Facebook, Twitter. I usually announce it. So anyways, let's get back to the submission. So next submission here that we have is from Denis Lua, and it's he was a director of photography, editor, colorist, sound producer, and other, you know, the whole thing. And it's basically a one-man crew project, he says here, shot with 0 budget, just 2 friends, wrote the script in one night, basically, and then gave it to the actors for 1 hour before they started shooting. And it was all basically entered into a MOZA contest that I'm judging, actually. So thank you for things. So I get a kind of an early view at it. So by the way, yeah, guys, if you guys are, you know, didn't know, MOZA is holding the, I don't know, I forget now when's the last date for the submissions, but you can basically win free MOZA, you know, Air gimbal. So you guys have to go to their Facebook page and follow what they say there. But anyway, so this is one of the submissions for it. So let me see what you know, what I think of it. So anyways, here's Denny's work. I hope you guys enjoy it.
No, I hate seeing you like this, Rachel.
And I stopped feeling sorry for myself a long time ago.
You thought about what I said?
Paul.
It won't stop. You know this.
I can't. It's against everything that I've worked for the last 7 years.
Yeah, and what about the next 7 years?
Well, fuck, where does it stop then, Paul? If we do this, I will lose everything.
If you don't, you'll have nothing. I need you. This doesn't happen without you.
So fucking what then? I just drop everything? Act like nothing happened? Like it didn't mean shit? Well, for fuck's sakes, Paul. You weren't there. You didn't see what I saw.
Maybe I wasn't. But Tony was.
I'm sorry about Tony, okay? But this is asking for too much.
Did you know it was supposed to be me in there that night? Do you know why I didn't go? Because I was fucking scared. And now Tony's dead because of me, and I have to live with that.
Why didn't you tell me that?
I don't know.
Just promise me that after this, it ends.
We're not looking for an ending. We're looking for a new beginning.
I just wish he was still here.
know why we have to do this.
So yeah, great submission. I'm gonna have to see. I can't say that you won because I'm gonna have to see what the other submissions are for the MOZA contest. But great submission, Danny. And I would say my critique, really, the only thing is like I love the shots that you got. Love the framing, and you just kept it simple, right? You just had a story that could be told through dialogue, so there was no need to show the location too much, and you kind of kept it nice and intimate. Because of that, it just looks more cinematic. The only thing I would say, again, is just to kind of add, like, bring it from good to like great, is just that sound. The sound, it was well recorded. I just think it could have been something with the mixing, something like sometimes, I don't know whether you added the ambient sounds or whether that was recorded, but if you could like mix it so you hear less of the ambient room sound and more of the, the actual dialogue, and also so that the music is like, so you can hear it, but yeah, that so it doesn't, cancel out the dialogue. It's just a matter of mixing it, or just better production, sound production, or sound design, should I say? Sorry. So that's the only thing. Is like if you could fix that a little bit, because it's like it's not bad. Like I said, don't get me wrong. It's just it maybe sounds like somebody who's a professional who's watching it is gonna go, okay, it's like a lower production because we can hear the audio is not all the way there. Whereas somebody who just has more experience will be like, oh wow, this is like good sound, right? Like well, mixed and everything. So that's really the only thing, Danny. But otherwise, yeah. So congrats. I mean, good luck. I hope you win the contest. Here we get some more, I see, questions and things like that. Where would I set? This is from Kennedy M. And it's basically saying, what would you generally say about the autofocus? And I would say it's pretty good. It's pretty good autofocus when you're comparing it to every other camera out there on the market. And also next one is from Shiv Mandal. Can you suggest which one to buy? And this is between Sony A7R2 and a Lumix GH5 for filmmaking. Oh man. Hard questions. Which one would I think? I don't know exactly, to be honest. Which one would I buy? I'll tell you this. I guess I would still go for the GH5 because, and somebody brought it up here in the comments too. Who is it from? Car Galaxy Studio, saying, yeah, you can use the Metabone speed booster, right? To get a mic, on the micro four thirds, so you can get actually extra low, basically extra stop of light, so it helps you with the low light things. But also you'll get the super 35mm image sensor. So I would say because of that, because you can apply that speed booster, and then the price will probably be around the same as the Sony A7R2, unless you're looking at a used one, then probably the GH5 will be more with the speed booster. But if you get it with the speed booster, I would still say the GH5 because you're getting better slow motion, getting better, image bit depth, more colors you can capture. Like, just a whole, just the ergonomics of the camera is better, the battery life is better, all that stuff. So I would say because of that, I would still say the GH5. Now, if you don't want to use, let's say, speed boosters, for some reason you're against it or whatever, then yeah, I would say, I guess, that the Sony, because of that. But otherwise, or if you, for example, just care about having really, really wide angle shots, then, with the A7R2, you're going to get the wider depth of field, right? Or wider field of view. So because of that, I would just say, go for that. But otherwise, yeah, I would say GH5 still, yeah. Although, like I said, it's not an easy thing because, A7R or A7R2 or A7S2 or, any of those, just like, for example, camera that I'm using kind of as my B camera is the Sony A6500. They're all great cameras. It's just, if Sony only unlocked the 10-bit, 422, for example, recording in camera, that would make a huge difference, especially when because like I said, for average consumers, they don't care about that. They need to just shoot an image that looks good right there in camera and everything. But for somebody, like us, who we're going to shoot, let's say S-Log, S-Log2, S-Log3, or V-Log, kind of a log profile, and then we're going to take that and we're going to adjust the colors, do all those things. for us it matters, right? So that's why I would say, yeah, it's the GH5 still wins in my book, and might be different. Somebody else, maybe let me know your comments. Why you think I'm wrong. Here somebody else is saying, why don't you buy or test the EVA 1? This is from what, Steve P or something like that. The EVA 1. I just haven't, there's only so much time, and I'm working on so many projects, and you see like Canon send me their D850, and Sony send me this camera to test out, and then like Panasonic, they haven't contacted me, I think, but B&H actually did ask me if I want to test out the EVA, and it's just, there's only so much time. On top of that, in case you didn't know, this isn't the only thing that I do here on YouTube. I actually work, so I'm working on films. I'm trying actually right now, I'm like trying to, I was supposed to premiere my last short film last week, and I couldn't because still some delays with certain things, the final touches on the film. So I'm just, like I said, like struggling, like trying to keep up with all my personal projects, paid projects that I'm doing, and then on top of that, trying to put out these free videos here for on Facebook and YouTube. So so that's why I just don't have time. I'll hopefully I'll be able to test it out, but when, I can't tell you. And also when I do test it out, it usually takes time because I'm not one of those people, like I said, like I can give you my initial impressions with this camera after a week simply because it's just my initial impressions. But to do a review, I cannot really give you a full honest review because until I've actually had more of a chance to use this camera. So and I'm not even sure if I'll really be using this camera on an actual paid project because, like I said, it's decent, but these days it's it doesn't really stand out. Like I said, there's a lot of other options, and for cheaper too. So that's the reason why. All right, next question here. Or actually, no, let me get to another submission here. Next one is from which one is it here? Okay, we got. Maybe play this one. Mcdonald Garcia, or Garcia Mcdonald, I'm not sure how it's supposed to go, but anyways, he's the director of photography, editor, colorist, sound producer, and it's a little horror short film he did called The Visit, and it's a trailer, or actually it's a trailer, it sounds like it, for his film. So anyways, let's watch it. Mcdonald Garcia, here is your film. All right, so hopefully you guys think. Sorry, I know some of you guys, your ears exploded because I know my audio is much lower because I'm here, just kind of, you know, like I said, I'm in New York City actually in the apartment that we have. It's like I said, the wife is with the kids and everybody's upstairs, and I'm here basically in the library here downstairs in the building, and it's I can't be really that loud, so you know I have a little mic here, but it's not my regular studio. Kind of a live streaming setup, so I'm just doing it from my Microsoft Surface Pro actually. That little thing I've been recommending to you guys. It's so small, like I use it when I'm like now, like I said, shooting tests in New York, so I can offload the footage from this camera, I can do some minor editing, and I can even live stream, as you guys can see. So, but I don't have the full control, I don't have my mixer board, so it was kind of, yeah, by the time I picked it up, maybe it was, you know, hopefully your eardrums survived. So sorry for that, but to kind of give my opinion, so Mcdonald, you know, or Garcia, I don't know which one is your first name, but congrats. I mean, like I said, I think it's kind of always incredible when I see people do these little projects where they're basically doing everything, including acting in it. And you did an amazing job. I think with what I really liked is, you know, the color grading. And actually the sound design was good. It could have been even better, like some of the sound that was recorded maybe, could have been just recorded better, but I'll tell you the biggest thing that by far stands out for me, and I think I almost wish that all the other films that I showed today, that they had that kind of color grading, is the color grading had just this nice stylized look, yet the colors didn't like wanted you know, to rip your eyes out, where they're like, too much saturation or too much this or thing. So it was just nice colors. And yeah, and because of that, right away the work looks really beautiful. So I haven't seen the whole film. Obviously, this is a trailer. You know, so if I manage to watch the full thing, I don't know if you have it online or not. I'm going to provide the link to the trailer so you guys can watch it, and maybe Mcdonald can maybe post the info there for where we can watch the full thing. But yeah, but anyways, that's I guess that's all I can say for now. Is that it looks beautiful. So hopefully the full project has a good story, because at the end of the day, if you have beautiful images, beautiful sound, but you don't have a good story, then you know none of the other stuff really matters, right? Quickly to answer some other questions here. See, we have one from Trevor. Hello, Trevor. What is he saying? Is shit the Sony? Oh yeah, he's saying he likes the Sony A7 cameras. But he doesn't like basically the colors. And I guess, yeah, I have to admit, you know, that you're right, Trevor, in terms of that Sony doesn't have the best color science. The color is kind of weird. Doesn't mean you can't get good results. You just got to work with it and color grade it a lot. Whereas that's the advantage of the GH5. He says the GH5 is better, they definitely better and easier to work with because of the colors. So right on, Trevor, and thank you for joining us. You're like one of the regulars, so thank you for that. And he also says, what is it, that the rolling shutter from the Sony is yeah, it's not as good as basically as the GH5. Definitely, that's true. I don't know how the rolling shutter is actually on the A7R3. Again, if I do the full review, you guys will be able to see it there. But that's the thing. Yeah, I think otherwise, I think let's maybe see we can squeeze in one more submission here. Maybe let's see here, this one. This one is from, yeah, I think this is the last one, maybe, from Collin Black, and he's it says he's a director of photography, editor, and an actor too. Again, one-man show. So let me just play this guys for you guys, and then we can talk about it quickly and before we end the show.
Jasper, come here.
Yeah.
Look at this photo I took today.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I just love it. Just look at how the tree is helping the other one up. It's just beautiful. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crap, I gotta go to work.
Alright, man.
Get out of my house. Alright, you're gonna be in Theater 6, first door on your left, down the hallway.
Oh.
So maybe I'm gonna just kind of talk quickly over this because it is a longer film. So thank you for submitting it, Collin. And again, I'm gonna post links to this right after the show so you guys can watch all of these videos, in peace and watch the full thing if you guys are interested in it. I'll tell you right away, Collin. Like you clearly know you're in command of the film language. What I mean by that is everything from the framing to editing. Like it's spot on. And even though this is obviously like shot, like I said, lower, indie production, you could say, just even by looking at it, you can kind of just say maybe sometimes the lighting, that was the only place where the lighting maybe kind of lacks. But I think it's a good choice that you did, maybe because of your budget limitations, you didn't have access to lights or good lights. And by making it black and white right away, you can hide a lot of the problems that usually occur with low budget lighting, basically, or a lot of mixed color lighting and things like that. But I'll tell you that, so if you could maybe step up your game in terms of lighting, I think otherwise the film, and I've watched actually the whole film, so I can highly recommend to you guys. It's kind of I don't know whether to qualify it as a kind of a dark comedy or, because it has some comedic moments, but it also has some serious moments. It's a great film. I think you did a great job, Collin, and it's like I said, it's just the way you compose shots, the way you edit it, to the music, to the sounds, and just the timing of the edit too, it really brings out the situation and especially the comedic moments in the script. So great job to you, and I would just say, like I said, either collaborate maybe with a better cinematographer, or if you have a really cool story, contact me through my website, and I'm every so on take on just even non-paying projects. If you have no money but you just want me to help out on something, let me know. It's not often that I can do that, but if the script is really good and I trust the filmmaker, which I'll tell you right now, prove to me that you have a good sense of storytelling, and just basically just the film language, which is very important, then I'm definitely open to working with talented people like yourself. So congrats, and again, I'm gonna let you guys watch the video, basically after the show. I'll provide the links. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'm gonna finish up. It's already been about an hour. Hope you guys enjoy this show. Definitely, if you like these videos, the weekly shows, even if I don't have time to upload, put out any other videos, like I said, I am sometimes just way too busy with other work. It definitely helps if you just let me know. Click thumbs up, share this video, or just let me know in the comments, right, what you guys think of these videos. And if you have ideas, suggestions, also if you have submissions for these videos, like you saw today, we had some great submissions. Definitely just submit more videos to us, and we're more than happy to show them here so other filmmakers can see them, and so we can all kind of learn from the mistakes, but also the good things that you guys did. So thank you to all the people who submitted for today's show, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. Bye.